38. Time to get unscrewed with Jason Bryant. It's the only way we know how on a Friday morning at the end of the week. G'day, Jason.
G'day, Wammo. How are you?
Good, man. Good week?
Yeah, not too bad. It's been an interesting week.
Did you get geeky and enjoy, like me, the space shuttle landing last night?
I certainly did. And one of the things, $200 trillion doesn't buy you a lot of graphics.
Indeed. That was a funny thing, watching NASA TV.
Yeah.
And because there's not much to see from the shuttle until just before it lands. So it's all going to be graphically done, right?
Yeah.
It looked like something that was done back in 1984 on a Commodore 64.
I thought that Matthew Broderick from War Games was going to kind of come and just enter the screen and it was going to, here I am, like this. And it didn't happen. And they had those big computer booths, and I'm sure that they could have done most from an iPhone.
Yeah,
or an iPad, at least.
In the Kennedy Space Centre there.
Yeah. That would have been the future of space travel. Kind of, you're sitting there and you're landing it with your iPad.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Vaughan's got better graphics.
Yeah.
Vaughan from the Goat Farm.
Yeah.
Has got better graphics on his iPad navigational tool than I saw last night in NASA.
Yes, so just to recap, Vaughan, a weekly guest here on the show, is currently flying a plane that he's bought somewhere down south, and he's flying it north.
Balclutha, I think.
Yeah. But he's got it. But basically, the iPad does his weather. He'll explain this next week, but I think it does weather and navigation.
Yeah, does it all.
Yeah.
And so he's
cool.
got better graphics.
Yeah, on board.
On board that. I mean, it's just plugged into the 12 volt and it's connected, and so there's a yoke on his. I was going to call it a steering wheel, but it's, what is it called?
It's a gear stick. Or
a stick.
What is column? It's cockpit. He's in the cockpit there.
I don't know. That's my limited flight knowledge. Anyway, it sticks to the handles.
Yeah.
That kind of control the plane, and he can travel with all the weather patterns and altitude and pitch and elevation. We're getting technical now.
Yeah.
And fly using that.
Yeah.
And it's got better graphics.
So I'd like to request, so whoever does the next sort of venture into space, whether it be Richard Branson or someone else, just update the graphics, make it a little bit cooler.
You know, I was engaged.
Yeah, it was engaging. Was it?
And then I saw that, and I went, they probably should get Steve Jobs onto that.
Yeah.
Some really nice animations.
It's like it was running on DOS, not even Windows.
Yeah. It was pre-Windows.
Yeah.
For $200 trillion. Oh, come on, NASA.
Yeah. But it is disappointing that that program is ending. I've already said this morning it was something that was always there, and just you thought would always continue.
Oh, do you know, for me, I'm not hung up and emotional about it at all. I think that $200 trillion, they're talking about to cure. Well, I'm not sure cure is the right word, but to aid Europe's water shortage. They're thinking about towing icebergs from Canada to the Canary Islands off of northwest Africa.
Icebergs?
Icebergs.
Salty old icebergs?
Well, they're not salty.
Aren't they?
No.
These freshwater ones?
Yeah, I think all icebergs are freshwater, aren't they?
Depends, I suppose, where it's located on land or in the sea.
And they're thinking of towing them. And I'm thinking, $200 trillion, you could plant most of the world with forest and get our normal climate back and solve a lot of problems for climate change. Do you think about how much...
The space mission has done a lot for science and technology.
That can cure stuff on the ground?
Yeah, a lot of technology that were developed for Velcro. Velcro's one.
Oh, yeah, but you could...
Teflon
you could answer the same about war. War drives innovation, but it doesn't make it right.
No, that's a good point. Talking about war, John Key all excited this morning about the possibility of Marines returning to New Zealand. I've got a little bit of a problem with this.
I'm going to crack open a bottle of Chardonnay on that one.
I've got a little bit of a problem with this. Isn't there problems everywhere Marines go?
Friendly fire?
Doesn't it always turn bad?
We're not even at war with America, and
something will happen.
Exactly.
A gun will go off.
Yeah. There'll be tragedy, and then this is the first stop. Then nuclear ships, and nuclear warheads.
Yeah, that's all part of it.
And the free trade agreement. And I heard the woman from America talking about yesterday about free trade, and that's the only way to stimulate America's economy. No, it isn't. Build your own stuff.
Yeah. Look at it this way: is there happiness and peace and wonderfulness wherever the Marines go, or is there
No, it's usually-
unhappiness and misery?
Yeah, there's usually kind
Okay.
of rape and.
I vote on the Marines not coming then.
You
know?
look at Japan; they've got an interesting.
They've got a big issue there with the
yeah,
Marines.
yeah, and the Chagos Islands, which Britain and America kind of own as kind of part of the East India group, and how they kicked everybody off the Chagos Islands, and the High Court in Britain said that they were allowed back on, but they've been told in no certain circumstances that they shall not return.
Yeah. So, I know a lot of people say, well, that's a simplistic way of looking at it. You know, well, is it more simple now or more complicated after they arrive? Probably more complicated after they arrive, right?
Chardonnay time.
All right.
Yep, now we've done that. Babich.
Yes?
Family estate's been around since 1916. Croatian, or I think it's Croatian migrant, came across Josip Babich, or Hosip, because of the J and H.
Out West Auckland?
West Auckland, yeah, but this is actually from Hawke's Bay, Gimlet Gravels, 2010, single vineyard Chardonnay, or individual vineyard Chardonnay.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've got the Ironclad, no, not the Ironclad, they've got Iron Gate series, and kind of they've got some premium wines. They make some really good wines in New Zealand that are very representative of New Zealand. Haven't tasted them so far this year or even last year. They just don't come onto my radar at all. So
Yeah.
I thought, I was in the supermarket the other night, and I looked around for this show. It was the best value wine.
What was that?
We haven't tasted it yet, so
Yeah.
so in
Smells
theory,
all right.
it was the best value wine I could find in the New World supermarket.
Okay.
And I've got to say that the range down there is going to just kill retail.
Yeah?
Yeah, price range, it was horrifying. Everybody's putting wine through there.
Is it a good or a bad thing? I mean,
Oh, bad.
Good for the consumer at the moment, you would have thought.
Yeah, I think we've got to have a bit more of a long-term vision. It's really bad for the wineries because then everybody's got to compete to get into a supermarket.
But you know, New World have been very good for craft brewers in New Zealand,
Yep.
haven't they?
Yeah. Of the two chains, of which we've only got kind of Progressive and what's the other?
Foodstuffs.
Foodstuffs as competition, if you can call it that. And New World have been there because they're owner operated,
Yeah.
and that makes a big difference. They do have a lot of stuff that you wouldn't not normally find in any other supermarket. And I've got to say that the range was pretty good, but the prices were also very, very smart and not good for the retailer. And long term, really bad for the wineries and really bad for the consumer
Okay.
because they'll get to call the shots.
All right. Point taken. Let's get our nose into this.
Yeah.
Smells like almost like a Sav on the nose, but a little bit creamy.
There's
like a
that
Chardonnay.
creamy, oaty, mealy character with a bit of kind of chalky mineralness.
The mineralness I find is a bit the Sav.
Yeah,
And the cream
and then you
of
get that
Chardonnay.
lemon citrus character as well.
It's really quite nice.
Almost a bit of baked apple as well,
Yep.
which I like.
Oh, I like that.
It's quite full,
Oh.
chunky, juicy grapefruit pith in the mouth.
Almost like taking a bite.
Yeah, it is almost like taking a bite. It's full-weighted, full-bodied, but ends quite dry.
Yeah. And it hasn't been. And I mean, there's no oaking going on here, is there?
There probably is some oak,
Right.
but it's
Very
imbalanced.
mild. Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's 14% alcohol. There's no heat coming through. It is slightly chilled, given it was my house was quite cold last night.
Yeah.
It's slightly chilled. There's 14% alcohol. That's not showing. The oak's not showing. It's the fruit that's
lovely.
showing. And this with some lemon garlic roast chicken
Yeah.
is going to be perfect.
Very nice.
90 points for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd definitely be up around that.
Yeah. No,
Good one.
I think it's really good.
That's the Babich Chardonnay.
2010
2010.
individual vineyard.
Go find that. What was the price again?
Oh, certainly under $20.
Nice.
Under $18, I think.
Good value. That's been Unscrewed with Jason Bryant. Unscrewed.co.nz.